Hello guys and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you a new functionality in Mesh Morpher Graph which allows us to generate our meshes with a third-party AI service. We're going to have Meshy.ai incorporated in Mesh Morpher Graph so we can prototype faster and better, right? So we can iterate and see what's going on. To get started, first thing you have to do is go to settings, and in settings you will have here Meshy API key, and you will have to get this from Meshy.ai and just enter it. You can leave the rest with the defaults, and now let's get started. In node list, you will have here AI and Meshy experimental category, and under it you will have auto rig, image to 3D, refine text to 3D, remesh, and text to 3D, right? So this is still experimental, but it's working already pretty good, right? So let's get started. If we get image to 3D, we'll get this node, and we will see that we have two inputs here. One is the texture from which we want to create the 3D mesh, and the other one is the texture guide, which uh, it's optional, but it's used by Meshy to uh, generate the texturing, right? If you want a certain texture or type, you would want to input this, right? I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to go with the defaults, right? And for this, I need to load the texture from file. And I need to select my file. And I'm going to input this into image to 3D node. And the next thing we will see here, we have several options. The model we want to use for generation, we will use the latest one. If we want to remesh, and it's optional, it's up to you if you enable or disable. Symmetry mode, it's up to you. Pose mode, if you generate something that requires a pose, you can select an A pose, a T pose, or none. It's again up to you. And if you want to texture this, right, don't forget to check the Meshy.ai price page for prices to see how much these operations cost you. Mesh Morpher Graph just interfaces these nodes, right? It just provides a shorter way to access this functionality. I'm just gonna leave it with shoot texture enabled. I'm gonna enable PBR. And if you want, you can enter a texture prompt. You can enter target polygon count. So if you enable remesh, you can also put here like 10,000 vertices, and topology type, it's quad or triangle. I usually leave it in the default settings like quad, right? So once you've made all your choices here, and you're sure that you want to send this to Meshy AI API server, just click generate. In the generating status generation status here, you will see that you will have a progress, how much you're left until the process is complete. Now we are at 20%, and we'll get back when it's completed, right? Okay, the generation is completed, and we will be able to see our model here. We are just gonna continue with our process here, and we will see that we have here output pins, base color, metallic, normal, and roughness, right? We can create material from these textures, and we need to create this material because by default you will see that our mesh, even though it has UVs, it doesn't have its materials, it's a material assigned, right? So let's create this material here. And actually, let's create a new folder. materials, and let's select our material here. And you have the ability to overwrite existing if the material already exists, or enable a material overflow, right? I'm just gonna go with the defaults and create the material, and now we can go ahead and use set materials, and I'm just gonna bring mmg, and now we have our mesh completely loaded with the material, right? At this point, we can do another thing. We can use remesh to continue processing this mesh with Mesh.ai, or we can go ahead and use our Mesh Morpher Graph nodes. So now the mesh is compatible with all nodes in Mesh Morpher Graph, or you can go with Sculpt, right? So we can do some additional changes here and continue whatever you have to do. The next thing you can do is create a static mesh, and when you're happy, you can just export to a static mesh and use it in your projects, right? You can use also to wrap, if you want to wrap your existing mesh to this one generated by Mesh.ai, or you can even transfer uh, the textures to your other meshes, right? Because Mesh Morpher Graph has the ability to transfer textures, right? So after you wrap, you can use transfer texture to bring this texture to your meshes. So let's go with load texture, load static mesh actually, and let's search for pug. And now we have this static mesh in our engine, and it's ready to do whatever you want to do with it. You can also generate a mesh from text, right? Meshy. And to do that, you need to go with text to 3D. And here is pretty easy. You enter a text prompt, negative prompt, you select an art style, and basically the same workflow, right? The same settings. And then once you do that, you can go with refine. Let's go with refine text to 3D. For refine text to 3D, as you can see, text to 3D outputs a mesh directly, or a task ID. For refine text to 3D, you're gonna use task ID, and you can use the task ID for all nodes, even remesh. You can see the remesh is also taking a mesh or a task ID. So if you use a task ID, your mesh will not be uploaded from your project. It will be the one used, the one stored on Mesh.ai servers, right? So this is pretty powerful, I think, for prototyping and getting stuff done quickly in Mesh Morpher Graph. You can use the remesh with any other mesh that was not generated by Mesh.ai. So if you want, you can go ahead with load skeletal mesh and just select one of your static or skeletal meshes, just plug it in and click remesh, right? Same goes with auto rig. But for auto rig, you need also a texture, right? And from what I understand, Mesh.ai auto rig feature works only with humanoid meshes, and they need to have the texture, right? So if you have your own skeletal mesh that you want to auto rig, you need to have a humanoid and the texture from it, and just upload it, right? You just use load texture from file or load texture from asset, right? Because you can also load the texture from your Unreal Engine project. So this is it. This is Meshy.ai integrated in Mesh Morpher Graph. I think this offers us a lot of power when prototyping, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this future, guys, and see you around. Bye.